Yes, sir. A very good morning, Avinash, sir. This is my pleasure to have you on my show. I'm really excited to discuss some of the important things about law of attraction and other things in this field. I'm really excited to, gain the knowledge from you and share with my audience so that they can also learn so many things from you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining, giving us time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It is a pleasure to come and speak. And please call me Avinash. There's no need for sir, right? Call me Avinash, and I'm so happy to be here. And let's see, we
Okay.
maybe we have some interesting discussions coming up. Sure.
Okay, Avinash, yeah, definitely. So my first question is, you are working in this field, law of attraction. You are teaching this to so many people. So I want to know what is this exactly and how it works. So because maybe so many people are not aware about it, that something is there, that something law of attraction is there, and they can use it in their life. So how does it work?
You see, Karam, if you talk to people, in fact, all the people, in fact, if you speak to, they would all say that, inside ourselves, we know to some extent that, this life we are living right now is not completely random, right? We play a active part in this life. And everybody has this innate feeling that, somehow something would happen for me if I really put the intention or the thoughts for it. Now, what has happened is in the ancient tradition, in India especially, and also in all the tradition, like maybe Christianity, Islam, Sikhism, the religious tradition, they all had a mention that human beings are not a passive, participant of life. We are an active creator,
Participant,
a
yes,
co-creator of life, right? So it's not that everything is written for us. We get to choose a lot of things and we get to create those things in our life, right? Now, how do you understand this scientifically? In last 70, 80 years, we have seen the rising of quantum physics, right? And if you
right,
read some of the scientists today who are quantum physicists, if you read them, they would say that what quantum physics tells us in the most easy language possible, that this universe is made of energy, right? What we see matter at the deepest core is energy, right? And as a human being, when we think a thought, when we feel an emotion, when we observe something, we are impacting this field of energy, right? So it's like a direct participation of a human consciousness in the energy world influences the energy as well. And there are experiments like double slit experiment, the observer experiment has been done, where they have seen this to a certain extent, like a human observation impacts the electron at that level, right? But at a larger scale, the point is that as everything is energy, right, and we also being energy as a human being, we keep the thoughts we know is
right,
now is a field of energy, the emotions is energy. Those thoughts and emotion attract energy of similar nature, right? So in a very simple language, if I put this, if you have a thought which is of a very higher nature, means very positive empowering thought, that energy is uplifting, right? And that energy generally attracts thoughts of similar nature. So you'll find, the closest friend you have right now in your life, what we understand now is that the thoughts we have, right, the emotions and the thoughts we feel, it is like we are creating a field of energy with these thoughts and emotions, right? We are impacting the energy field we carry as a human being, no? And in this universe, when we go ahead living life, interacting with all that is energy, we end up attracting energy of similar nature, right? Energy of similar frequency, similar vibrations. So a person having a habitual kind of thought process would find you would find would have people, the closest friend, the life experiences would generally correlate with the thoughts the person has, right? So at a deepest level, it is always in operation. Now we may understand, we may not understand. A simple experience we I think everybody has in their life is, when you are thinking about somebody whom you deeply love, right? Or you're missing someone, especially mom, dad, and your loved ones, you would find like getting a call from them in few minutes, right?
Yes,
See,
yes,
I was just thinking about you. How did you call me, right? Now,
yes,
this
yes,
this
yes.
cannot be simply a random coincidence for every human being. Like I've spoken to like thousands of people, and I asked them this question: "Do you have this experience?" And everybody says, "Yes, I've been through." So there has to be a more scientific explanation for this, right? So,
Right,
yeah,
right.
some of the physicists highlight from the aspect of quantum physics that uh, this world, the matter world, is driven by what we call as energy, and energy is driven by what is called as consciousness. So we are an active co-creator of this life. Nothing is random. There is a synchronicity. There is a reason for why what is happening in a way. So that's a very powerful, very very powerful idea, and if implemented well, people can see tremendous results in their life.
Okay, that's really awesome. And many times we feel that, something we when we remember our relatives or loved one, definitely. So I also felt, so many times I was about to call, you, and then
Yes,
this thing.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
that's how it works. Okay,
Sure.
sir.
Yeah, yeah.
So my second question is like, sir, how can one plan to be a life coach? Like you are as a life coach, and you are training so many people today. So how can one plan to be a life coach, and what are the insights behind that?
I think it's a very fulfilling job being a life coach. And though some people think that they have to live 20 years, 30 years in terms of experience of a job, then only they are eligible to be a life coach. It's not the case, right? It's a skill which needs to be picked up, right? There's a good body of knowledge available, a lot of skills which people can pick to be a life coach, right? But I think what is important point to understand is, people have to understand that today most of us are driven by what generally is the new thing in the market, right? What people are generally going for. So I think it's very important for people to identify and see, is that their passion, right? Coaching is a fulfilling work which involves working with people, right? Every kind of people with every kind of situations they may be in, right? And helping
Right, right.
them get clarity, helping them get a breakthrough, helping them move ahead in life, right? But this requires the underlying need that if the person really feel passionate about helping changing people, right? So I think if the person has a passion, the next best thing to do is, right, and most people directly jump into taking a certification. I always suggest that spend some time, reading some good foundational books on this, right? There are many books in market which can be read. Like there's a book called as Grow, GROW. It's a coaching model as well. Grow coaching model. It's a very good book, in fact. So
Okay.
if somebody's keen, spend some time reading some few of the good books. And if you Google it, you'll get a list of books in a way, right? So
Right.
read those books, understand how the concept, how the process works out. The best part is when you read these books, every book generally has a lot of tools given, questions given.
Right,
It's a
right.
good idea to start applying those tools and questions on your own self, right? Over next one,
Yes.
2 months time.
Yes,
So start coaching yourself next couple of months time, right? And then we always have people around us. Now we have some people who wants help from us, some guidance in office space, in a family space. So it's also a good idea that using these tools given in the book, you can certainly help people as well. Like when you use these tools and questions, it's your normal conversation becomes a coaching conversations, right? So you can
Okay.
simply work with people around you over next few weeks or months to see how it feels like when you do some kind of coaching work. And I think once people test it out for some time and they feel, no, I really feel this is amazing, I really feel passionate about it, I really feel very joyful, then I think somebody can plan to take a certification, a good coaching certification, which generally lasts for 6 months to 1 year, in which
Okay.
people get a lot of structure, knowledge, questions, and all that stuff. Do personally, I do coaching, but I have not taken an official, like generally ICF is what certification is known. I have not gone through it. Mine more is driven by NLP, right? Using the tools of NLP and also the understanding of subconscious, law of attraction. So I generally follow that methodology. But there are people who go through ICF certifications. There are many certifications worldwide, right? So
Right,
then
right.
somebody can choose, okay, which certification will fulfill their need depending on the time, budget, and the cost and the investment required. And once you have the certification, then it's actively working with people, There's so many people around in the world today present, right? Find the right people who needs help and start working with them. Once you do that, you will find, you'll find the work starts developing up. So it requires knowledge for sure. Same time, also the application of the knowledge, right?
Yes, yes.
Implementation of the knowledge is also very important.
Okay, yeah, definitely true, sir. We can go and help people in so many areas these days, because there are so many things that are coming up, and humans are more distracted these days. So definitely, we can help them. This is a really great advice, sir. Next thing is like when I talk to other coaches and when I talk to other people, so the next thing comes is finding out the niche and the market. So what do you suggest, and how we can find a niche and market, and how we can go about that?
You say in terms of somebody being a coach, finding the market, that from that perspective, or like normally for an
Yes,
entrepreneur,
yes.
from a coach.
Normally, yes, normally from a coach perspective, normally from you can say teaching perspective. You
Okay, now you see, when you talk about having a niche for oneself, like what is your specialized, what is your core focus area where you work on, right? I think again this has a lot to do with introspecting that what is that uh, thing truly which you resonate with, right? Mostly, one of the areas to find like what is your need. Obviously, that there are so many areas today in the world. If you take by profession, if you take by area of work, if you take by opportunities, there are so many categories available, right? But if
right.
somebody looks back inside themselves and find what has been the biggest challenge and when has been the biggest challenge for them, right? So has my challenge been in my study career and I had to overcome that challenge? Has it my challenge been into my job life, and has I have to overcome going through that phase of my life? Or is it like my relationship and I have to overcome my relationship challenges? So you have to find what was the challenge which you went through, where you overcame that challenge, right? Generally
Right.
that becomes a very good area for you to go and help someone with, because now you have worked with in your own life with your own self, overcoming the situations, right, and getting the
Right.
results, right? So one way is people to find is see what area in their life they have been through, they have struggled, eventually they have come out of it and made a
They
happy
understand.
life, right? So
Yes, yes.
that area becomes a very very empowering area, because human beings are, again, we all have almost similar kind of problems. It may be
Yes,
relationship,
yes.
health,
Yes.
career, money, all the spiritual life, so one can follow that pattern as well. That's one of them, right? Another is sometimes people can also go ahead in finding what is their why, do they resonate with, right? So sometimes a beautiful aspect to look is that what is that you know you hate in this world, right? Like what is that you don't like, what is happening in the world right now? So you say, I don't like women's being dominated, right? I don't like children being dominated, right? So you say, I hate that thing. My love is, the second question is, what is your love then? What do you love exactly? I love to empower women, I love to empower kids, right? So what you do is use your love, right, to conquer the hate, right? So I love helping women to, be uplifted. I hate being dominated. So possibly that is a very good area for me to work on, because that's where my heart generally connects to, right? So simple ways to find. Otherwise, even going through like the Simon Sinek book, Finding Your Why, right? Once you go and start going through the book, and they have given amazing processes, right? When you start asking the why question, that why I want to do, what of the work which I want to do right now, that will generally show the things in a way, right? But the key is not to just pick up an area because that area is good, but the niche is good. You have to really focus on that. What is that your heart links to? Because if your heart is not connected to the work, or if your heart is not connected to that area, you will get bored in like some time. So the
Yes.
idea is like, for me, helping people transform is a very passionate cause, right? And I'm sure my entire lifetime I'll not get bored. And the reason for it, that I myself as a human being in my early days, was labeled with it as an average guy. Like, you have your average person, not much of qualities and intelligence, right? So for me, I was like, yeah, society put me in that category, and I
Right,
had to
right,
really work
right.
through to come out of it. So I want to now help people, transform themselves, right? Then how do we transform? Okay, various tools are present. Which tool I want to choose right now? Which one appeals to me more, right? Okay, I'll choose this tool, right, in this way to help people in this manner, right? So
Right.
something of that sort, can work out as well.
Okay, that's really awesome, sir. Because there are so many people, and there is a lot of confusion around this topic, that how we can choose the niche. And it's a really great thing that you have said, that we just before doing that, connect with your heart and do really that you are passionate about, and that will create the more results. That's awesome, sir. That's
And
awesome.
sometimes, Karam, the good part today is we have technology available. Anybody can do a bit of research, right? Like, if you want to know about any particular thing, just put it Google, you'll get the insights. So sometimes people also miss to do the initial research, right? So if you
Yes.
spend some time finding out what are the areas possible, right, where you feel that your strength will match, right, your passion is there. So if somebody goes through just googling it and searching about every single area where there is an opportunity for coaching, for training, right, and looking at that, what is that which resonates with them, right? So as you go
Yes.
through different things, you'll suddenly find something clicks to your heart. If it's not instantly, if somebody just persists going a bit deeper, in few chosen area, they'll find the clarity is a process. It's not a one time activity. It's something
Yes.
which you
Yes.
do, and then the thing appears in front of you, right? So something of that sort, yes.
Okay. So okay, that's awesome, sir. My next question is, what mistakes did you make, and how did you overcome them, and how others can avoid so not making those mistakes? What are the major mistakes you will say that because of those my life got stuck, or something that happened, that was changed my life?
Uh, uh, you're saying about the entire life when I look back the entire
Yes,
past,
yes,
right?
yes, yes.
So the mistake, I think, what I see is whatever happened in the past was good in a way because all of them shifted me in certain way. But I think after my graduation, I ended up spending too much of time. Actually, in my graduation, I spent too much of time, not doing things which could have been done, right? Like today, I look at people who are at age 20, 21, 22, and they are doing massive things. They are already making great work. They are learning great skills, right? But when I look back in my graduation, I felt that, instead of just completing graduation, I could have done 10 things at that point of time. I could have picked up things, worked with an entrepreneur, spent time learning possibly, could have read a lot of books. So I think
Yes.
that was a great miss from my side. Going back, that's what I want to change in like 3, 4 years of that time of my life. That was a beautiful time because I was in Pune and I had a lot of opportunity here. But because you feel like, okay, just it's educate graduation, just spend time, enjoy, you completely miss that part. So I think that is one thing which I realized. And again, for me, that was a time. For some people, it might be their job right now and their time right now. So maybe 10 years down the line, they'll look back, okay, I was in my prime, in 2021, and I miss using it in a way, right? So I think, people sometimes should ask that, you know, what is that I am not doing right now, but which I must do
Which
for me
I,
to really, go to the next level of life, right? So when you ask these questions, sometimes your brain will give you an answer. Okay, you are not doing this thing. You should do this part, right? Something will come up. But generally, we realize when we do a reflection. But and that's what I realized that that 3, 4 years time I could have used in a much productive manner in picking up great skills, ideas, and in building my connection with people and working with entrepreneurs to learn firsthand the first-hand experience. So that's something which I really see as a mistake. And but still, I feel okay. Uh, still I'm lucky. I feel good that I picked up faster in my after my post graduation. Otherwise, some people spend really 20, 30 years of life still figuring it out and no, not able to come into the right point. So that way, I still feel good about it as well.
Yes, yeah, that definitely, looking at the same thing from both perspective. This is amazing. I mean, this is amazing that you just said, because we forget about, to look at the things from both sides. We just see
Right.
from one side, and then we say, oh, this was the bad, this was not
Yes.
good. But looking at the things at the both sides, that's really awesome, sir. So one more thing, like what one must do to bring out his own potential, because I have read about you, and I have seen your videos so many times. You talk about the bringing out your potential. So what one can do to bring out his own potential, and how he can also measure that, how much potential do I have, and how much I can go about it. So what is the process
Okay.
for?
So, Karam, I don't see there is one activity which can help somebody do that part, right? But I'll give you maybe three steps for it, right? What do I think is the easiest three step? Number one step is, look, you only find something when you really understand, believe, or know that you have that thing, right? For example, if I say, Karam, somewhere in your society there is a gold, very costly diamond gold ring is lost, right? And then only you may go and start finding the ring. But if,
Right.
if if there's no ring, if you don't know there's a ring, you'll never find it, right? So
Yes, yes.
though people at a surface level understand that we have some potential for sure, but people may not have the complete idea. So my first request for people is always that, study about yourself. Study books about human beings, a study book about the potentials we carry, right? The first step is to always educate yourself with the knowledge, with the understanding that do we really have potential inside you. Now, how do you do this? Simple: read the biography of great people, because when you read those stories, something gets triggered inside you as well, right? Read the things in neuroscience, what science is telling us about human performance, about human beings, right? The books like Flow, the books like Happiness Advantage, right? So there are many books, Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. So there are many books out there. If you start reading at the level one, you will have the found conceptual understanding that, okay, now even science says we have the potential. We are more than what we think we are right now. So first step is to pick up the knowledge which will become as a foundation for you to do certain things. So you're not just doubting yourself. There is a science for it.
Right, right.
Once somebody has the knowledge, the second step, which is the more important step, is to start applying, start executing the knowledge, right? Today, one thing which is very easy to find is knowledge and the tools
Yes.
and the techniques to apply in your life, right? So after you have the knowledge about the potential, second step is to understand how do you tap the potential, the execution part of it, right? And most people, that's where they miss the point, that they are
Yes.
not able to execute the potential. So there are many tools which one can follow, but a simple tool, if you today talk to a scientist and ask them, a doctor, a researcher, that what is one simple habit I can follow which can give me tremendous results, right? And most of them would say, why don't you start with meditation, right? So meditation is a
Okay.
very, very powerful hack. Now, entire ancient wisdom is focused on meditation, and today
Yes,
we have
yes.
science as well highlighting this part. And we know now exactly what changes in the brain, what biochemical changes, what gene changes you go through once you practice meditation. So implementation is important, and one can genuinely start, with a simple practice of meditation. So what happens is, you see, before you find anything in your life or you do anything in your life, you have to use your mind, right? you
Right.
know Mind is at the center point. But the question
Yes.
is, if the mind is not still, the mind is not anchored in the present, the mind is not under your control, you're not able to use the mind well. So then how do you
Yes.
control the mind? How do you get more influence over the mind? And the answer is meditation. So I think when you talk about execution, starting with a simple practice of meditation would be a great idea to start with, and making it a daily practice. Like with my coaching clients, right from day one when I start the coaching, I say, okay, now your job is to first start with a meditation practice. There are
Okay.
different forms of meditation. Obviously, one
Yes,
can do
yes.
like a mindfulness, loving and kindness meditation. There's a vipassana meditation. There's a mantra meditation. There is a watching of your breath. No, and then we carry some meditations which are mostly on connecting with the higher energies, raising your own vibrations, right? Going deeper in
Okay.
subconscious. But there are different forms of meditation. But you can choose one of them which appeals to you. Start the execution part. So first step is finding the knowledge, is filling your mind with a lot of knowledge. Second is execution, and third step is, and that's a very important point. The third step is constantly reflecting back, constantly
Okay.
introspecting that, okay, what I'm doing as of now, am I practicing it well, am I getting results, right? If not, what should I do now, what should I change now? So constantly, this is one of the most tremendous ability human beings have, but not being used properly, which is to reflect back, look at the situation, and make a course correction, right? So if people can timely do a reflection, maybe every week, look at yourself, look at how much potential you have tapped in last 1 week, which in a way is obviously about stretching yourself to the new limits, going towards things which you had fear, now you're doing it possibly. So reflection, introspection, analysis is a very powerful tool, and when you do that, you also end up changing your brain as well to a certain extent, right? So those three steps, I think, would be a very good process for people to start tapping more of their potential.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, sir. This is a great thing, and I also started, reflecting. I have set entire, you can say, week by week. I reflect on the things, that how things are going, and one more part that you said, starting with the meditation. This is one of the great things. People miss, they so many people I have seen, and in my family and otherwhere else, they are not focusing. They just think meditation is nothing. Yeah, this used to be earlier, now it is not useful, kind of things they think. But this is really awesome when people do something, then when they pick up their own mind and start focusing on the mind, then they definitely can bring out their potential. I believe in that, and I work in this area as well. So
Beautiful.
thank you, sir, for
Beautiful.
your guidance, and this is amazing, amazing, sir.
My pleasure. My pleasure.